Okay, we have been talking about do pentachord lately, and let's review. A do pentachord starts at do and goes up 5 steps. Do, re, mi, fa, so. But those 5 steps are not all equal. One of them is what we call a half step. From mi to fa is a half step. That means there's no other note between them. The other steps though, do to re to mi, and then fa to so, they are what we call whole steps. And there is a note in between whole steps. A whole step can be divided into 2 half steps. Let me demonstrate that by looking at the keyboard. So we have a C here, we'll call it do for now. This is C or do, and if you go to re, that's this note. But what is in between them? There is another key, a black key. So I could go from C to this black key, and that would be 1 half step. And then I go to the next key, and that would be another half step. So 2 half steps makes a whole step. And then from here we have E to F. Is there any note in between E and F? No. So E and F are naturally a half step because there's nothing between them. There's another similar half step to that, B to C. There's nothing in between B and C. So with that information and that review, let's look again at our 3 pentachords that we've been talking about most recently. Starting with the first one, the G pentachord. That's G. Let's sing it on the solfege, please. Do, re, mi, fa, so. Now sing it on the absolute pitches. The first one is G. Ready? G, A, B, C, D. Good. Note on the piano, those notes are G, A, B, C, D. And if we say the solfege, do, re, mi, fa, so. Notice that mi and fa, which is supposed to be a half step, naturally falls in the place where it's already a half step. That's why we don't have to adjust anything on the piano when we play a G do pentascale. Let's look at the next one. The next one I have, the do is C. Do, re, mi, fa, so. And on the absolutes, C, D, E, F, G. Let's see what that looks like on the piano. C, D, E, F, G. And you can see this naturally occurring half step between E and F falls on mi, fa. So again, when C is our do, we don't have to make any adjustments because the half step naturally falls right there between the E and the F. But we discovered in our last lesson that the F do was different. Here on the piano, here's F, do, so far so good, re, that's a whole step, mi, that's another whole step, and then we need fa, but we need a half step. If we go to the next letter name of B on the piano, if we go to the B key, which is the next one, then that's going to be a whole step, and that will ruin the do pentachord. There has to be a half step from mi to fa, because mi to fa is a half step. So instead of going all the way up to the B, I take half a step back from the B and go to the black key instead. And that makes the fa. Let's listen to it again so we can hear that fa sound. Do, re, mi, fa. And then we finish up with the whole step, skipping over the B and going to C. So, do, re, mi, fa, so. Now, we have changed the B. Instead of just playing a B, we have altered it a little bit. We have lowered the B a half step to play the black key. When you lower a note a half step, that's called a flat. Flat. When you lower a note a half step, it's a flat. So this is B flat because we stepped down 1 half step from B. Absolutes. We change the name of the absolute letter if we alter the pitch. So we altered the B, so instead of B, it's B flat now. So when we're singing the absolutes, we're going to do what the Germans do, and they call it Bess. That makes it easy instead of trying to sing B flat. They just call it Bess. So when we get to that B flat, we're going to call it Bess instead of B. Okay, so sing the absolute pitches. Ready? F, G, A, B, C. And that's spelled B-E-S.